You don't have a money problem. You're stuck in a system designed to keep you in debt. And right now, your debt is growing faster than you can pay it. This isn't about spending habits. This isn't about avocado toast or Netflix subscriptions. This is about a system, a machine that was built on purpose to keep you trapped. And once you fall in, there's a reason most people never get out. But here's what nobody tells you. The trap doesn't look like a trap. It looks like help. Let me describe your life for a second. You wake up tired. You go to work. You do everything right. You're not lazy. You're not reckless. But every month feels the same. Rent eats half your check. Sometimes more. Bills take the rest. Food, gas, phone, insurance. And at the end of the month, you're staring at your account with maybe $200 left. If you're lucky, then life happens. Your car breaks down. Your tooth starts hurting. Your rent goes up again. And suddenly, that credit card, the one you swore you'd only use for emergencies, is in your hand. You swipe. You'll pay it off next month. That's what you tell yourself. But here's where most people lose control. Next month comes. And there's another problem. And another. And now you're carrying a balance. I've seen this happen up close. Someone starts with $2,000 in debt. Nothing crazy. Just a few bad months. 3 years later, they owe $9,000. Not because they were irresponsible. Because they were trying to survive. And that balance, it's not just sitting there. It's feeding on you. Here's what they never taught you in school. Debt doesn't wait. Debt multiplies. Let me show you a picture. Imagine you're holding a glass of water. That glass is your income. Every paycheck you're trying to fill it up. But there's a hole at the bottom. That hole is interest. And the more debt you carry, the bigger that hole gets. So you're pouring in water every month. Working, grinding, sacrificing. But the water drains out faster than you can pour it in. Now here's the part that should make you angry. The people who gave you that debt, they're not trying to help you plug the hole. They designed the hole. Because every month that hole stays open, they get paid. And this is where most people get trapped for years without realizing it. When you carry a balance, they give you something called a minimum payment. Sounds helpful, right? Just pay the small amount and you're fine. But here's what they're hiding. That minimum payment is calculated precisely to keep you in debt as long as possible. Let me give you real numbers. This is where it gets dangerous. Say you owe $5,000 on a credit card. Average interest rate in 2024? Around 24%. That's not a mistake. 24%. If you only pay the minimum each month, usually around $100. Takes over 9 years to pay off. 9 years. And here's the brutal part. You'll pay back more than $7,200 in total. For a $5,000 debt. You're handing them almost 50% extra. Just for the privilege of being stuck. Let that sit in your chest for a second. Stop. Look at that number again. $7,200 for a $5,000 debt. That's not a mistake. That's the system working exactly as it was designed. But that's not even the worst part. That math only works if nothing else goes wrong. No more emergencies. No job loss. No rent increase. No medical bills. But life doesn't work like that. Does it? Something always breaks. Something always costs more than you expected. And every time it does, you swipe again. The hole gets wider. The leak speeds up. And suddenly, it's not just slipping away. It's rushing out. And now you're not climbing a hill anymore. You're on a treadmill. And someone keeps turning up the speed. Here's where it gets even darker. And what I'm about to show you next is the part that traps people for years. Not months. Years. By 2026, economists project total U.S. consumer debt will pass $5 trillion. That's credit cards, auto loans, buy now, pay later personal loans. Not even including mortgages or student debt. The average American household already carries over $10,000 in credit card debt alone. Some cards are now charging 29%, 30%. 1/3 of what you owe is being added every single year. And interest rates? They're not coming down anytime soon. This is where most people lose a decade of their life. Not because they're stupid, because the math was set up against them from day one. But here's the question nobody asks. Why is it built this way? Who actually profits when millions of people stay stuck? Let me tell you something that should make your blood boil. Banks don't make money from people who pay off their cards every month. They actually have a word for those people. They call them deadbeats. I'm not joking. That's the industry term. The people banks love? The ones who pay just enough to stay afloat, but never enough to escape. Because those people generate interest. Month after month. Year after year. They're not customers. They're crops. Being harvested. And the longer you stay in debt, the more valuable you become. To them. Not to yourself. This is where the trap fully closes. Think about it like a casino. The house always wins. And every swipe, every buy now pay later, every 0% APR for 12 months offer is designed to pull you deeper, to make debt feel normal, to make drowning feel like breathing. And here's the terrifying truth. The longer you wait to escape, the harder it becomes. In 3 to 5 years, most people's situations get nearly impossible to reverse. Not difficult, nearly impossible. The interest compounds. The stress compounds. The damage compounds. Most people who fall in here, they don't recover. They just learn to survive inside it. And that's exactly what the system wants. So let me say this directly. If you're drowning right now, you're not stupid. You're not irresponsible. You didn't fail. You walked into a building that had no exit signs. A game where the rules were hidden. A trap disguised as opportunity. The system doesn't want you free. A free person doesn't need credit. A free person doesn't generate interest. A free person is useless to them. Your struggle? It's someone else's profit. Think about that. Really think about that. Every sleepless night. Every anxious paycheck. Every, how am I going to make it this month? Somebody's getting rich off that feeling. And they need you to keep feeling it. So here's the real question. What do you actually do about this? Is there a way out? Or is this just life now? Here's the truth. You can escape. But you have to stop playing by their rules. Let me give you 3 things. Not complicated investment strategies. Not financial advisor nonsense. Just 3 real moves. 1. Stop paying just the minimum. They want you to pay the minimum. Keeps you trapped longer. Even if you can only add $20 more per month, do it. That $20 doesn't just reduce your balance. It shrinks the hole. It slows the bleed. Over time, that extra $20 can save you thousands. Thousands. Funny how they never tell you that, right? 2. Kill the highest interest debt first. If you have multiple debts, don't spread your money evenly. Pay minimum on everything except the one with the highest rate. Attack that one with everything you've got. Once it's dead, move to the next. This isn't about feelings. It's about math. The faster you kill high-interest debt, the less you feed the machine. 3. Build even a tiny wall. I know saving feels impossible when you're drowning, but even $500 can change everything. Because the next time something breaks, you don't have to swipe. You don't reopen the trap. Start with $10 a week. It's not about the amount. It's about breaking the cycle. It's about taking one piece of your life back. Now I want to ask you something. Do you really think this is all accidental? Do you think nobody planned this? Or is this whole system designed intentionally to keep people like you and me stuck? I want to know what you think. But more than that, if you've ever checked your bank balance and felt that stress hit your chest, that tightness, that panic, type trapped in the comments below. I want to see how many people feel this but never say it. Let's see how many of us are silently carrying this weight. And if this is the first time someone explained how this machine actually works, you need to stay, because there's a lot more they're hiding. Stuff about taxes, about inflation, about how the whole game is rigged. Hit subscribe. Turn on notifications. This channel exists to show you what they don't want you to see. Here's what I'll leave you with. There's a reason they don't teach this in schools. There's a reason financial literacy is optional or non-existent. Because if everyone understood how debt really worked, if everyone saw the trap before stepping in, the whole system would collapse. They need you confused. They need you to be tired. They need you to blame yourself. Because a person who blames themselves never look at the machine grinding them down. By 2026, more people will be trapped in debt than ever before in history. More people are paying interest than building savings. More people are stuck. And the worst part? Most of them still won't understand why, until it's way too late. And the truth is, most people won't escape this trap. Not because they can't, but because they never realize they're in one. They'll keep working, keep paying, keep hoping it gets better, until one day, they look back and realize they were running, but never MO.